Welcome everybody to Blerdlines. This is your man Cam. With me is,
Big Josh.
and we are here talking about Tron Ares. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to do a series, and it's basically going to be called "We Finally Watched." And so when things are a little bit older or not as timely, like we didn't watch that weekend or whatever, maybe it's a month later or maybe it's like a year later, we'll still watch it because like we all watch certain things. But it just doesn't mean that we're gonna get it like right there because there's four of us. We got day jobs, we got things going on, but we still want to watch it. So welcome to our series. We finally watched. And so today we're going to be talking about Tron Ares. Now, a little bit of context. Myself and Josh are both Tron fans from before. And I didn't watch it in theaters because I was too young, but I watched it on Disney Channel and it was like mind blown. And I was like, what is this? This is amazing. I played the video game in the arcades, like also amazing. And so I've just had an affinity for Tron as a series all the time. And so just as a thing, so when it came back in movie form, Tron Legacy, that's about 10 years ago, crazy. That was super exciting for me because I was like, oh man, they're expanding the Tron Legacy, that kind of a thing. I really liked that movie. I thought it was awesome. Score was amazing, visuals. It was an interesting story that expanded the world. Like it just, again, if you're a Tron fan, it's really, really cool. So seeing that they came out with a third one, Tron Ares, I was excited, but I was also a little dismayed because we are 10 years out from the last Tron. So unless you have affinity for Tron, it's kind of just like, oh, that's cool. So it was kind of weird because I'm like, oh, I want to see it, but like I don't know if anyone else like I'm a Gen X person, so of course I'm gonna watch Tron. But like your average person that has no knowledge of it or anything like that. I've watched the cartoon, I played the video games, so I'm into it. But for everyone else, I'm like, I don't know who this is for. And so with that, all that preamble, me and Josh, we watched it. I also watched it with good sound because when Josh tells me I need to watch something with good sound, we go watch it. And so, Josh, how was your impression of Tron Ares now?
It was fine. I don't understand. It was fine to almost good. On a scale of fine, good, very good, excellent. I don't understand all the hate that it got. It was a pretty coherent story. It was pretty well put together. I'm a little dismayed. The end, by no means am I capping for Jared Leto. He apparently has a lot of things going on interpersonally with other actors and just in life. Um and but he's not the reason why it failed, in my opinion. I think I can attribute it to exactly what you just said. It's 10 years out. They did not capitalize because as far as I know, Tron Legacy did well.
Mm-hmm.
Uh so I don't have the stats in front of me, but waiting 10 years to capitalize on on how that movie did, to me, just didn't make a bunch of sense. It was good. It was very good, even, I would say.
And for
um
numbers wise, we said 10. It actually came out 15 years ago,
oh my god.
and it doubled plus its budget of Tron
Okay.
Legacy. So yeah, it was I think it was at
Okay.
170, made about 400, 420, something like that. So it did well. Like it was
Yeah,
enough that extended commercial
average.
success. Yep.
but yeah, it was fine. I thought Ares was fine. I would have liked a little bit more Jeff Bridges. I would have liked a little bit. It would have been cool to have more of a tether to Tron Legacy and what happened in Tron Legacy. I understand Olivia Wilde probably isn't acting anymore. I think she's directing, like, right, producing and directing now. So okay,
Yeah.
yeah, she probably wouldn't have been in it. That's fine. But this guy's son who was in Tron Legacy, to me, that would have made sense to have him be part of at least a cameo
Yeah.
in this most recent joint. Um, Once you get past, it's a tiny bit of a stretch to have some sort of AI driven Tron drone become like the liberator in the story. But once you get past that, it's fine. It works.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing where I was like, again, we're not capping for our man Jared Leto over here, but he wasn't bad at all. Like he was fine in this. I was actually surprised. And full transparency, I didn't mind Leto Joker, but I'm alone on this hill, but that's fine.
Nope, you're not. You're not. I liked him.
But yeah, so he wasn't the problem, I don't think, at all. I thought, like, visually wise, it was amazing. They were The way they used their budget was super interesting too, by bringing it more into the real world, which I thought was interesting. But at the same time, it's also a little cheap, because when you were in the Tron inside the, basically the computer, things were very bare bones. So you didn't really see that many people out just hanging out. You didn't see like the world. You just saw a big, good, like vantage point of the city, and then once they were moving through things, it was very, very sparse. And then which is kind of unfortunate, because they had so many cool ideas. I mean, again, Tron always had great concept art, great ideas, and how they did that, but it was a little bit disappointing not to see as much of that inside the world. And so they did a lot of compositing in regular world. I forgot what city they were supposed to be in. It's probably Toronto, subbing in for something.
Mm.
But also, so yeah, like visually, again, all the points that you would think they do good, great. But then now we go back to the our problems, and this comes back down to the writing, right? The overall plot itself was solid and enough that's like, okay, interesting. But to Josh's point, the lack of tie to Finn, the lack of tie to his son, like, it was there, but it was very, very thin, just to kind of keep it together. Which, again, cool, but they need a little bit more to get us in, to kind of really connect it. And I think that by not having like the Sun cameo, Jeff Bridges was awesome as always. So he's just basically the dude now, as you know, he is the dude at all times now from The Big Lebowski. But
100%.
but I think that was the thing. And like, they, even with the introduction of newer characters, Greta Lee's character actually wasn't bad. I thought that was actually kind of interesting. The villain, this guy, he was actually pretty good as a villain, like what his motivations were and how he was trying to go things. And Josh brought this up after we watched it, is like, how do you have Hassan Minaj, a good comedian, in a movie, and he has no funny lines? Like, not at all. No ad libs, no, just, he literally is just a normal tech bro-y type dude, and that was it. And it was such a miss, because I'm like, he could have got some line. They could have used him a little bit more. And I like, if
Yeah.
you're not going to use him for his funny, you could have just slotted with somebody else. You didn't really need him being in there at all.
And South Asian guy as IT. I mean, granted, this is his first movie role, so you take what you get, I guess, sort of, kind of. But
Yeah.
Southeast Asian guy as IT tech is just kind of like,
Yeah,
all
so
right,
it's a
for
little on
real.
the
That's what
nose.
y'all.
It's like,
That's the best title you could give dude in an entire corporation. That's what we doing.
yeah,
All right.
yeah. And I think, like, and it was, again, overall plot and like the basis of it was interesting. And I think that was like some interesting parts. But yeah, I think by not being able to have a better tie together about it, it would be more interesting. But then also too, you had a comment about the music, and I'll let you kind of expand upon on that. Tron Legacy's music was freaking top notch, and up there with one of the best of the 2000s, to be honest. In terms of like the score, like how everything came in, like it felt epic. Like any scene that had
Mm-hmm.
a quiet scene, still, like, it was one of those interesting things where, again, I credit you for helping me understand better about sound technician and sound effects, and how the score really affects your overall movie. But like
Mm-hmm.
Tron Legacy, that score is phenomenal. Where this one, you're like, oh, that's music.
Yeah, and I feel like Nine Inch Nails, is Nine Inch Nails. Like, there's nothing. They're not. They're not anything to sneeze at. Those guys are like, they're legendary musicians for a reason. But I feel like this was just like, it was like trying to replicate the Daft Punk thing. Having Daft Punk do the score, and it didn't land quite the same way, from at least not for me. It was okay. Yeah, I would have rather like spend the money, have Daft Punk do it again. That would have been
Yeah.
my personal take. The audio was fine, to what you alluded to earlier, a couple minutes ago. The audio was okay. I thought it was, the first Tron Legacy sounded amazing. There was no question in my mind that it wasn't going to be. They didn't, and I guess to your point about the sort of ancillary things, like, and you know what, I take that back, not ancillary, the supporting things, like the CG being kind of just like, it's fine. It wasn't, the
Yeah,
compositing was so. It, like me with you with me, enhancing my eye where graphic design is concerned and computer generated images can be concerned. Just pointing out, certain things like color palette, refracting, and light hitting things in certain and things of that nature. It was fine ish, I guess. It wasn't in the same vein. The same effort that they put into the CG appears to be the same effort that they put into the audio. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't that same punch in the mouth that you got when you watched Tron Legacy. Everything
yeah,
about Tron Legacy was just bigger. And I feel like they tried to do more with less. And as we know, especially when it comes to visual mediums, that never works out well.
yeah. Yeah, and honestly, that's really what it comes down to, and that's like it's like all the pieces are kind of there, and I was did a little bit more research before because essentially this was going to be a sequel after Tron Legacy within a nice little sequel time, 3-4 years or whatever. But I think Disney had a flop with Tomorrowland, and they kind of scrapped another big high cost production budget, and that's what kind of
Mm,
delayed it because I think the Flynn Sun character was or the actor was attached to the third one, and then because that kind of flopped, it got kind of put on hold, and then it just got resurrected in the last 4 years, something like that. Which again, at this point, they could have just, in my mind, they could have put half the budget, made it a series on Disney Plus,
mm.
maybe 8 episodes, stretch that to two seasons, and probably like literally they could have saved half their money for that, and we probably would have got a better story, but also something that was like more tied to what we wanted in the Tron. So like seeing everything on the
Mm.
big screen, hearing it, and all that kind of stuff was great, but it was almost like 15 years too late. Like if it would have been a
Yeah.
couple years, if this came out right after, like 2 years after Legacy, I'd have been like, oh shit, this is dope. Kind of ties to it. I'm in it. But 15 years later, I have to go on my own memory. Plus, I've been playing one of the video games, which is actually the new one, which is really fun.
Hmm.
But yeah, again, you just like you want it to be good, and it's almost, and then they're like, oh, let's pull it back real quick.
This close. This close.
It's like, and again, we said it. I'll say it again. Wasn't Jared Leto's fault at all. He
No.
actually was probably one of the best parts of the movie, actually.
Yes.
But I just think that yeah, they just were trying to they're trying to take some swings, and they didn't want to go far enough. And then when they did, it was kind of like, and then you have Gillian Anderson getting that rent money check. She was just like, what I gotta do? What I
Hey.
gotta say? All right, I'm out.
All right. Cool. I'm in.
Yeah, like so but yeah, I think overall, I think it was one of those things where like it's again thing, you want it to be good, it's kind of not, but you still don't feel like it was a waste, but you can't
But
recommend it.
almost.
Yeah, it's just a weird space where I'm like, I was entertaining, but like if again, actually no, I'll take it this way. If you've never seen any Tron stuff, you just skip it. It's not
Don't
worth
bother.
watching.
No, don't
But
bother.
if you have seen Tron and you kind of like that world, it's worth the least taking a gander when it's on HBO or on Netflix or something like that. Don't pay for it. Like you pay it on
Yeah.
your streamer.
Oh, big shout out to Jodie Turner Smith as Athena. I thought she was great as well.
She was awesome. She's really it
Yes.
just again giving another and she's good in everything she's been in these last like
Hmm.
3 to 4 years, but it just gives another feather in the cap of like, yo, just make her storm already and like let's just make this happen. Sign the contracts, lock her in for 10 years, let her rock. Cause like every time she's in something, she just looks better and better and better. Her
And
acting
she
is great.
elevates
Her
it. She
notes.
elevates
Yep.
whatever she's in. 100%.
100%. Like she, that's they just need to just figure it out and like let her be Storm, and I think they'll have a lot of fun, and they will inspire a next generation of little young girls that will look up to a powerful black woman who will wreck and
Hmm.
shop on literally anything she feels like. And I think this is, I hope that's one thing. We'll pray to the Marvel gods, but like I hope they get that part right, because I think that could be something that could be really, really, really dope. But as always, thanks for listening to us. We are like, share, and subscribe. Haha, almost forgot.
Well
But
played.
this is Blerdlines, and we are out. Peace.